Mental health is something that doesn't need to be stigmatized, that you can certainly talk about it just openly. If someone says, yeah, I have depression, doesn't mean they're asking for your pity or for your sympathy or for some way out.
I'm Michelle and I live with bipolar 2.
My name is Mitchell Babanis. I was diagnosed with epilepsy.
My name is Jonathan Roberts, and my previous diagnosis was depression.
My name is Lauryn Myhra, and I am diagnosed with narcolepsy with cataplexy. I was honestly kind of relieved when I was diagnosed because I'd been telling my doctor there was something wrong with me for 5 years.
I was diagnosed my sophomore year of high school.
I was 15 years old when I was diagnosed with bipolar 2, and it was after a really long span of being depressed for like 4 years.
I didn't feel too surprised though about it, to be honest, because I had been feeling this way for a really long time.
Epilepsy is a disorder where your brain sort of like fires off abnormal brainwaves sometimes, and that can cause synapses to like fire off in all sorts of different directions, and that eventually causes you to have a seizure.
Narcolepsy is a chronic sleep disorder, which means that I don't have the brain cells that regulate wakefulness and sleep. Cataplexy is a condition where when I have strong emotions, I lose my muscle function.
For me, it's like there are two people kind of fighting for which space to occupy in my body. One is super depressed and like suicidal, and the other one is happy and like kind of irrational and agitated.
Depression is a mental disorder, which essentially is where you're very sad, you're low in your mood, and you have like a less of an interest in things, but it's much more complicated than that.
I didn't really feel much from it until like later on in life.
I thought that when I got my diagnoses, I would feel liberated and like, yeah, this all makes sense, but it didn't really feel that great.
Being a college student and already having a strange sleep schedule, I'm often extremely tired, and going to classes and falling asleep is not ideal.
It was difficult to go to work. It was difficult to like talk to people and just kind of go out and do just kind of the normal routine.
It's hard when you are in a depressive episode because you know you're going to get better at one point. That's how it is supposed to be, at least. But when I'm in class and I'm getting like really anxious, it's hard for me to engage in class.
I will end up having like smaller seizures that sometimes aren't even visible. I don't lose consciousness. All of that stress and stuff can sometimes induce them. So being a college student sort of adds to all of it and makes it difficult to manage.
I have a professor that refuses to let me use my computer when I'm in class. Having my computer screen keeps me more awake than I would like handwriting notes.
When people ask me how I'm doing and I say I'm not doing okay, and they ask me why, sometimes there isn't an answer, because sometimes you're just having a bad day, not because you're depressed or bipolar, it's because you're just a human too.
I would say the U is doing a really good job at becoming more active and more self-aware about the issues surrounding mental health. So it's those types of support systems that may not directly lead to mental health, but that type of support system is important for our mental health.
Even the Office of Student Affairs, they have a care manager, Lauryn Myhra. She's cool, I vibe with her.
I think the biggest thing that I had to overcome was convincing my doctor that there was something wrong with me.
If you think that you have epilepsy, I would definitely go in and talk to a neurologist.
Just kind of like continuing to advocate for yourself and making it known.
To listen to what I'm feeling and just let me know that I need that, they're there to support me.
Give you a space to be yourself beyond what you're dealing with.
Never give up, to be honest.
Being there for someone and asking them and talking to them about it helps a lot.
When you name what you're struggling with, it kind of makes you realize that if you can name it, you can also name what you have to do to change it.
But if you really actively push to try to make a difference, and even those small differences can just kind of shine a glimmer of hope for you in the future.